Am I the a-hole for dating a woman that my best friend hooked up with in the past? So, I, 28M, have a best friend. Let's call him Jake, 29M. We've been close since high school, like brothers. We've gone through all the usual stuff: college, dumb parties, breakups, moving apartments together, helping each other with family crap. He's been my ride or die for years. Here's the issue. A few months ago, I met this woman. Let's call her Sarah, 27F. I met her at a friend's birthday party, and honestly, we just clicked. We ended up talking the entire night, exchanged numbers, and started hanging out more. It felt natural, easy, like I didn't have to perform or force anything. About 2 weeks into casually seeing her, I found out, through her, not Jake, that she and Jake hooked up once like 3 years ago. She was upfront about it, said it was just a one-time thing after a night out, no dating, no feelings, nothing serious. She also said they don't even talk now aside from being in the same extended friend group. When I brought it up to Jake, he kind of laughed at first like, "Oh man, yeah, that was a random night." But then his tone shifted and he said, "I mean, if you're serious about her, that's kind of weird, don't you think?" He didn't outright forbid it or tell me I couldn't date her. Not that he could anyway, but I could tell he was uncomfortable. Now, Jake's never mentioned her in a serious way. He never had feelings for her. He never even brought her up in all these years. But once he knew I was interested, he suddenly acted like there was some bro code being broken. Here's the thing, I really like Sarah. We've been seeing each other consistently for 2 months now, and it's starting to feel serious. She's kind, funny, and actually gets along with my family and coworkers, something my exes always struggled with. I don't want to give up something potentially great just because of one random hookup from years ago. But Jake has been a little distant since. He's not saying it outright, but he's definitely pulling away. He makes passive-aggressive comments like, "Guess you don't mind sharing leftovers." Or, "Don't bring her to poker night, man. That'd be weird." It's messing with my head because I don't feel like I did anything wrong. But I also don't want to lose my best friend over this. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for dating a woman that my best friend hooked up with in the past? So after I made my first post, I tried to keep things low-key between me and Sarah to avoid more drama with Jake. But the truth is, she and I were already slipping into something that felt like a real relationship. We weren't just hooking up. We were going out on dates, spending weekends together. She even met my sister. Hiding that was starting to feel dishonest, not just to Jake, but to Sarah too. The turning point happened at our usual Friday poker night. Normally it's me, Jake, and a few of the guys we've known forever. Sarah had asked earlier in the week if I wanted to hang out Friday night, and I told her I already had poker. She suggested just swinging by for a little bit, bringing snacks just to say hi. I thought it was harmless. Well, the second she walked in, the whole vibe changed. Everyone was polite, but Jake immediately stiffened up. He barely said hi to her, and when she left after dropping off snacks, he muttered, "Guess you didn't hear me when I said not to bring her here." After the game, Jake pulled me aside. He wasn't joking anymore. He flat out told me he thought I was betraying him. His words were, "Of all the women in the world, you had to go after someone I've been with? Do you know how weird that feels for me?" I told him I wasn't going after her to spite him, that it just happened naturally, and that his hookup with her was years ago and didn't mean anything. He doubled down and said it was about principle, about respecting your best friend's history. We ended up arguing in front of the guys, which was humiliating. One of them even told Jake he was being dramatic, but Jake wasn't hearing it. He stormed out, and since then, he's been barely responding to my texts. When he does, it's short, cold stuff like, "Busy" or "whatever, man." Meanwhile, Sarah knows something's up. She's asked me if she's causing problems between me and Jake, and she even offered to step back if it would help. That honestly broke me a little, because the last thing I want is for her to feel guilty about something she had no idea would blow up like this. Now I feel like I'm stuck between my best friend of a decade and a woman I could see a real future with. And the worst part? I don't even know if Jake's reaction is because he still secretly has feelings for her, or if it's just this weird macho bro code thing he can't let go of. So, things definitely escalated. After the poker night fight, Jake went into full passive-aggressive mode. At first, I thought giving him space would help, but instead, he started making the whole thing into group drama. A couple of our mutual friends pulled me aside separately and asked, "So what's going on with you and Sarah?" Jake says you're breaking bro code. Apparently, he's been telling people that I stole someone he was involved with, which isn't even close to the truth. He and Sarah were never together. It was one drunken night years ago, and she's been very clear on that. But the way Jake tells it, you'd think she was some kind of almost girlfriend he was heartbroken over. This led to some awkward situations. For example, at a mutual friend's barbecue, one of the guys actually joked in front of Sarah, "Damn, I guess you really like Jake's hand-me-downs, huh?" She laughed it off politely, but I could see it got to her. Later that night, she told me she didn't like being talked about like some object two friends were fighting over. Honestly, I don't blame her. The tension has started to spill into the larger friend group. Some people are on Jake's side, saying I should have avoided dating her out of respect, while others think he's being ridiculous because he never had a relationship with her. The worst part is I can feel the divide whenever we're all in the same place. Like everyone's waiting for one of us to explode. Jake finally confronted me again after a night out. He basically told me, "If you keep seeing her, don't expect things to go back to how they were between us." He said it like an ultimatum. I asked him straight up if he still had feelings for her, and he denied it, saying it wasn't about that, it was about loyalty. Here's where I'm torn. I value my friendship with Jake, but it's not the same anymore. It feels like I'm constantly walking on eggshells around him. On the other hand, Sarah has been nothing but patient and understanding, and she's someone I could genuinely see a future with. I can't help but feel like Jake is trying to control me with this so-called bro code. But part of me wonders if I'm blind to some unspoken rule I really did break. All I know is, things can't keep going like this. Either Jake has to get over it or I'm gonna have to make a choice I never wanted to make. It all came to a head last weekend. One of our mutual friends had a birthday dinner, and both Sarah and Jake were invited. I debated not bringing Sarah to avoid the drama, but she's been feeling like I'm ashamed of her because of all this. And honestly, I'm not. So I brought her. The night started out okay, but you could feel the tension. Jake barely acknowledged us. Every time Sarah spoke, he'd look down at his drink or make a face. Finally, when people were a few drinks in, one of our friends made a lighthearted comment. "Man, you two are cute together. Didn't expect it, but it works." Jake snapped. He straight up said, "Yeah, cute. Until you remember she's been in my bed too." The entire table went silent. Sarah froze and I felt my blood boil. I told him he was being disrespectful, not just to me but to her, and that he needed to stop acting like she was property he once owned. He fired back with, "You broke the code, bro. You don't date your best friend's girl." That's when I lost it. I told him, loud enough for the table to hear, that she was never his girl. It was one drunken hookup he's been inflating because his ego can't handle the idea of her choosing me. And I added, "If our friendship is so fragile that one woman you barely even remember ruins it, maybe we were never really best friends." Sarah excused herself to the bathroom, clearly embarrassed, and the group sat there in stunned silence. A couple people tried to calm things down, but Jake just stormed out. Afterward, a few friends told me I did the right thing standing up for Sarah. One even said Jake's been acting jealous, not betrayed, and that it's obvious to everyone. But another friend privately said I should have just walked away from Sarah when I realized the connection to Jake, because friendships are harder to replace. As for me, I made my choice. I'm with Sarah. I told Jake in a text that I wish him the best, but until he can treat me and her with basic respect, I'm done trying to mend things. He read it but never replied. It hurts. Losing someone who was basically a brother over this sucks. But I've realized that if bro code means policing my happiness and treating women like trophies, then maybe I've outgrown it, and him. Sarah, for her part, said she feels bad for being the wedge, but I told her this isn't on her. It's on Jake. And honestly, even with all the drama, I feel like I made the right choice. If this story kept you hooked, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more.